Hey YouTube, it's just Vitchin here. I decided to do a comparison video of the Turtle Beach Stealth 600 Gen 3s against the SteelSeries Arctis Nova 5Xs. I want to see how they stack up next to each other and which one would be better for you. I'm going to go through different categories and see what's, just in case one category is more important to you than the other, and we'll see how that goes. But first thing I want to test out is the microphone quality. Now here we have the Turtle Beach Stealth 600s. I've got the microphone here. We'll see how they sound next to each other. I'm going to mute it. There's a flip to mute button, whatever you want to call it. It's not a button, but I like the flip to mute feature. And this is how it sounds with the Turtle Beach Stealth 600s. Now here's the microphone test for the Arctis Nova 5Xs. This one has kind of an adjustable microphone. You can put it back in. The other thing is it has a mute button right here. Now I said you can tell it's muted, but when it's muted, it has the red light on there, so you can see it kind of out of the corner of your eye to see if it's muted. I kind of like that. I'm used to the flip to mute. That one's nice, kind of comforting, knowing that if it's up, no one can hear you. But with this one, it's not as pleasant of an experience to press a button there, but I think it's just as effective. I think it's a tie there. There's no real clear winner there, but I think the microphone sound quality. I mean you tell me, but I think the SteelSeries sounds way better than anything else. Now I'll go into build quality, see which one I like better. These are the Turtle Beaches. They're your more traditional headset. You can wear these around, and I don't think a lot of people would even notice that they're a gaming set. It's just this part right here that kind of sticks out, which is it's nice for when you flip the mute down, but it does kind of stick out. That's the one giveaway it does have. This one does feel pretty sturdy. As I mentioned in my review 1 year later for this one, the band was coming apart, and even since that review, I've had to go in and super glue even more of this from falling out. But I mean, other than that, I think it does feel pretty nice. I do wish the bands had metal in it, but this plastic here, it does seem like it's pretty sturdy. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I really do think that these are the highest quality set that Turtle Beach has ever come out with that I've had anyway. Um, I do like that the buttons are right here. I do wish they'd utilize this other side. It's all on the left. So I do wish that they would utilize more of the space that they've got. It does get a little bit confusing. You kind of have to fill around to see exactly what you're pressing, but I mean these do feel pretty sturdy. Now we'll go over to the Arctis Novas. These ones, I've got to say they do feel quite sturdy as well. They're all plastic, which it's all right, but I do wish there was a little bit of metal, but they do feel pretty light. Now these feel pretty comfortable. I mean, both these ear cups do feel pretty comfortable. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them. The Turtle Beaches are bigger, but I haven't had any issues with these feeling like they're suffocating my ears or anything. I do like that the microphone is hidden, so that's pretty nice. I love how it gets flush with the rest of the headset. They do utilize both sides, so that is a nice thing. Is that I know that my volume's over here and my chat is right here as well. So you won't find the chat on the other ones except for the 5Xs, but overall, I think that this headband is quite comfy as well. It I'll get to that in a minute, but that I don't think this is gonna break. Like this feels pretty sturdy. I'm usually pretty careful with my equipment. I buy it with my own money, so I don't want it to go to waste. But I think there is a bit of a gap there when you probably saw there's a gap between the ski band and the headband. But as far as build quality goes for each one of them, I think they're both pretty good. but I do think these do feel very solid. I think even though that this plastic part is a lot skinnier than the Turtle Beach, I do feel like these might hold up to a beating a little bit better. But yeah, I think they're both pretty sturdy, but this one you do have to be careful with that headband. It will come across. So I guess I do have to deduct points for that. I'm not doing points really, but um, if I were, probably should, but they'd get a ding for that because this headband, I've had to do some work on that. Whereas the SteelSeries, I haven't had to do anything. So as far as like the comfort goes, they're both honestly pretty comfortable. But this ski band here, it's a game changer. How's that for a dad joke? But I do like wearing these. I put them on. I use these for work a lot, and I can wear them all day, no problem on the head, and it's very very comfortable. I will say with these, I don't know how to explain it, but when I put it on my head, it does feel secure, like it's not going anywhere. Like I don't know, these do feel more premium. I guess is like these feel more expensive. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And these the ear cups are larger, and so my ears do have a little bit more room to breathe in there. But honestly, both are very very comfortable. This one does not have the ski band. The padding is very light right there. I can feel that there's a padding only from here. It goes to there. So just this part is padding right there. So it feels pretty good on my head. But I do think that as far as comfort goes, we got to give the win to the SteelSeries. Now for the sound quality, that is one where they both have their pros and cons. So to connect them, they have these two dongles. So this one is the SteelSeries. It's a USB Type C, and right here you can see the switch from Xbox to USB. So the USB will work with PC, basically anything in the world except for Xbox. So PlayStation, PC, Nintendo. I've used it on everything, and it all works. I use it on my phone. I have an adapter for my phone, and it works just fine. Here is the Turtle Beach. It's USB Type A, and you can see it. This one also has a switch right there to go back from Xbox to USB. Same thing. I've used it on everything. I use this mainly on my PlayStation actually. Even though these are Xbox branded, I guess you could say, I use these mainly for my PC gaming. Not PC, PlayStation. I'm not that rich. I don't have a PC that can play games. But anyway, so these are quite nice. With the SteelSeries, you do get this nifty cable adapter. When I use it for my Xbox, I plug this part in my Xbox, plug the dongle in here, just like this, and make sure I've got that switch. I'll tell you, I've plugged this in so many times, it's not working. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with it, and I realize I just forgot to do the switch right there. It happens to me all the time. So that is nice that SteelSeries includes a way for you to use both. Now you can use this on a PlayStation, but I've got the PlayStation Slim, and so I have to use this old adapter that I got with a very old Samsung phone. I just plug that in, and there I go. That's how I use my PlayStation for my Turtle Beaches. So what was I on? Sound quality. That's how you connect to the sound. They both do have Bluetooth. You cannot use either one of these with Bluetooth and the dongle at the same time. You have to upgrade a little bit more than what I was willing to do for that feature. But when it comes to the sound quality, I have to say, straight out of the box, I'm going with the Turtle Beaches. Just they naturally have a sound that I like. Now I'm a bass junkie. I when I hear my video games, I want my bones to rattle. So I love these. They have a 50 millimeter driver, which the SteelSeries only has a 40 millimeter driver. I don't know how much of a difference that actually makes, but to my ear, the Turtle Beach's soundstage sounds a lot wider. It sounds like things are way more separated. When I'm listening to music, it doesn't feel like it's all coming straight at me. It feels like it's coming
all around. The Steel Series does a decent job, and the nice thing about the Steel Series is it has way more presets than you're ever gonna need. Seriously, like they have a preset for almost every game out there, any modern game that is. I prefer to use the God of War Ragnarok on these. It just sounds really nice, but you can customize either one of these to how you like. But when I'm listening to music, they both do sound great. No complaints, but I feel like whenever I put these on, these feel like home. Like I listen to the music, I listen to my games. These just naturally sound nicer. My preferred preset, and these come with four. You got your signature sound, bass boost, bass and treble boost, and then I can't remember if they call it vocal. Yeah, I think they call it vocal. I prefer the bass boost. Again, I want my bones to rattle whenever I hear that explosion. So that's what I like here. But if I had to just use the signature sound, these are great. I love them. These require a lot more tinkering. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do have to give the win to Turtle Beach here because I can just put them on my head. I don't have to mess with it. These I had to really tinker to see which sound profile I preferred. So I went through a lot of them, and that God of War seemed to be the best one that I liked. So really, either one of these, you're going to be just fine. They're going to sound great. I've used both of these for gaming, and I've had no problems trying to pinpoint. I don't do a lot of online multiplayer gaming. Most of my stuff is like the third person action, like the God of War, Spider Man's, those types of games. But I do occasionally throw it on Halo, and I have no problem. I don't really do a lot of multiplayer, but I don't have a problem hearing the enemies around me with either one of these. They're both fantastic, but just straight out of the box, got to give the win to Turtle Beach. Now, I talked a little bit about the connectivity. You've got your dongles. I talked about that. So the one thing that I will say about connectivity is if you've watched my reviews before, you know that I love to use these for everything. So I've plugged in both of these dongles to my TV, just straight into my TV, and listened to like my Roku, my just over the air TV. Yeah, I still use over the air TV, guys. And it works just fine for that. I do have to give the win to SteelSeries when it comes to connectivity. So a lot of times what I like to do, so I'll be working and I take a lot of phone calls. I can use my dongle to connect to my app, my Teams app at work, and that's how I make my phone calls. And so a lot of times I'll be on the phone and then the missus calls. And I used to use the Turtle Beaches here a lot for work. I really liked using these for work. But the problem was whenever she would call me or I'd get any sort of phone call because it's connected to my phone. Okay, so let me clarify. You can connect Bluetooth to your phone at the same time you're gaming, but you just can't listen to both at the same time. That's the difference. So when I would be talking to a client on my computer, my wife would call, these Turtle Beaches would automatically switch. So it would cut out the audio to the dongle and then it would just go straight to the Bluetooth. I didn't like that. I hated it. I'd always have to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Client. Here's what happened," and they'd usually get a pretty good laugh out of it. These, on the other hand, it gives you the choice. So again, you can connect your phone via Bluetooth and your dongle and put that in your PC. And I'd be talking to a client on my PC, and I get a phone call from my wife or whoever. She calls me a lot, and she loves me. What can I say? She loves hearing my voice. Anyway, these would give me the choice. It wouldn't automatically cut into Bluetooth, so I had to use these for work. Originally, I was going to use these for my primarily for my gaming headphones and the Turtle Beach for my work, but I've had to swap it out because I do like the sound better on the Steel Series. Or I mean, sorry, Turtle Beach. I like the sound better. Microphone much better here, and it also gives you that the ability to kind of choose. Now, I could always reject the call on the Turtle Beaches and it'll go back to the PC or game audio, but it's just kind of annoying that I can only imagine when you're gaming, you're in the heat of the moment, someone calls you, and then your audio just cuts out. No good. So, SteelSeries wins in that department. Okay, battery battery life. Here we go. These have an advertised 80 hours. That's crazy, guys. And then this one has 60 hours. It's basically a tie. Like, I know that these have 20 hours, but my goodness, if you're down to the wire and one of them craps out on you, honestly, that's your fault with how big these batteries are. Because if if I come, like, let's say I want to use them and they're at 10%, I still have almost a day's worth, like a full work day to use just to listen to music. That's a lot. That's crazy. And then if you charge each one of them for 10 minutes, they give you at least 10 hours, I think, on either one of them. It's just crazy, the battery life on these things. So I I mean, technically these do have more. The Turtle Beaches do have more. I do find that I very rarely have to charge these, but I do use these more just because I'm using it for work a lot. So really, battery life, you're gonna be just fine either way you go. Now, going to the PC app and just the apps in general, both of them are very user friendly. I do have to give the edge to Turtle Beach though. You can do everything on the Turtle Beach app. You can customize. They have little sliders. I would show you, but I'm using my phone to record this. Anyway, they have little sliders, and there's other videos you can watch, so that you can customize exactly what frequencies you want your bass, your treble, all that stuff. You can do that directly from the Turtle Beach app. The SteelSeries, you can do quite a bit. You can go and customize some of the sound the way you like, but as far as the sliders go, you have to use a PC app. And as far as updating your software, you can only update the software on the SteelSeries through the PC. So I have to connect everything through PC, make sure everything's downloaded that way. Whereas a Turtle Beach, I wouldn't even need to use my PC for the most part. I just can use the mobile app, and so I think that's a win. If you just want something that you can just take out of the box and just use, Turtle Beach, that's your guy. As far as the ability to really customize it. And okay, one thing I will say about the presets that you've got here is that, like I said, they have every game. It seems every modern game that's been made on the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series S or X. That's I don't know how they do it, but I actually would suggest using that. If you have a game where it has a preset on it, use it. I was playing Halo on these things, and let's see. The nice thing about it was I I could hear everything. It would have these alarms going off and things like that, and I couldn't hear those alarms. Like when your shields go down, I couldn't hear the alarms until I set it to uh, the Halo preset. So whatever they do to maximize your sound out of those presets for each game, hats off to SteelSeries because they do a wonderful job. So now the thing is, what do you want to do when it comes to price? So the Turtle Beaches generally are cheaper than the SteelSeries. When I bought these were $100 even. These were 140 or 50, something like that. So there's quite a bit of a difference between price. I went and looked just before recording this, and this is December 2025. And right now, the let's see, I've got it written here. The Turtle Beaches are $109 if you want the Xbox version. The PlayStation and the PC version are $90. So that was really surprising to me that there was that big of a price difference. I have mainly seen these go for about that $90 price point on each of them. But even if I have to pay $20 extra, I'm still getting the Xbox version just because I want to be able to use all of it, all of my systems on one headset. These, however, this really surprised me. So again, these were, $40-$50 more expensive than the Turtle Beaches. However, today I looked on Amazon and these are $105. So I couldn't believe that these are cheaper. Now the PlayStation version are 150. I think that's about what I paid for it. The PC version is 130. There's no difference between the PC and the PlayStation version. So I don't know why they have these different price points for these headsets. It's absolutely crazy to me. And for SteelSeries, when they are pricing the Xbox versions down cheaper than everything else, that's a win for everybody. Like I don't know why they do that because you're not losing any features. When you buy the Xbox version of either one of these, you can use them for any system. The only thing with the Turtle Beach is that you do have to have a USB-C adapter to use it on a handheld Nintendo Switch, which I've done many times and I love doing that. So anyway, if I were if you were my friend and you had a choice of which ones to choose, honestly, I'd probably still. I know I'm a fanboy, you guys. I know I'm a Turtle Beach fanboy, but I love the fact that I can just take these out of the box and they sound great. I don't have to do much messing with it, and it's just a much better user experience as far as like doing the updates and all that stuff. These are still a great pair of headphones. I love these. I use them every day. I love listening to music with them. With both of them, I love listening to music. Uh, these have a slight edge, but both sound great. But generally, the Turtle Beaches are cheaper, and so I do recommend that. But if you can get these for $105, that is a steal, you guys. It's especially if you do a lot of gaming, a lot of uh, talking on the phone. These are amazing. I mean, you've heard the test before. So anyway, that's what I would recommend doing is maybe getting these. But if microphone quality is what you want, can't go wrong with these. But if you're like me and you don't like talking to anybody on a video game, then it doesn't really matter which one you choose. So anyway, I hope that helps. Please comment if you have any questions. It's something that I didn't address here. So I love talking to you guys on there and answering your questions. So yeah, thanks so much for watching and hope you have a great day.